Hello everybody, it's Michael from Replica Airguns with an unboxing preview video. I don't really do a lot of unboxing videos where I actually open the boxes up and show you the guns. Kind of, my first impressions. I'm going to be honest, I may have cracked open a couple of these and had a peek, but really I haven't taken that good a look at them. So we're going to be looking at them together and going over just, I don't really even know a lot of the specs or anything about them. And you may notice that these guns might look a little bit like some other guns I've reviewed, like some Umrex guns, maybe even some Crossman products that I showed at SHOT Show. But these are all KWC guns. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just look at them one by one. I'm going to open them up. We'll talk a little bit about each, show you the box, show you the gun, that kind of stuff. I'll go over basic pricing, but keep in mind, pricing will change over time, depends when you're watching this video. Let's start from right here, my right, and go to the left. So we have the 24/7. This is the KWC 24/7. Now I have reviewed a 24/7 in the past, and it was I believe a fixed slide, no blowback type gun. And I think in most cases, I think the one I reviewed was a BB pistol. This is an airsoft pistol. So far, I haven't seen the BB version on our website. I would imagine it's going to be coming at some point because usually KWC will make an airsoft version and a steel BB version of the same gun. They generally do that with all their guns, so I will kind of be expecting that in the future. So let's take a look at the box before I get into it. You can see the front here. It says airsoft, right? It does come with some extra grips. It is a blowback CO2 gun. Let's take a look here, right? That's the model number, blowback, adjustable hop-up, 6mm plastic BBs, right? Manual, it's got the manual safety, half metal. I guess it's got the polymer frame probably. 16-round magazine, 12 grams CO2, and 134 meters per second. That seems pretty fast, actually. I'm not exactly sure what that is in feet per second, but it seems a little bit high. Okay, so of course you're going to get your manuals and things. I'm not going to show you that because I got too much to go over. But inside, what you're going to want, of course, is, well, let's take a look at this stuff quick too. So you do get basically some BBs just to get you going. No CO2, you're going to have to buy your own CO2. Some back straps, and of course the metal Allen key for putting in your CO2 and tightening it. Okay, let's get to the gun because that's really the most important part here. And nice, good weight to it. I'm not sure exactly what the weight is, but probably close to 2 pounds, maybe just under, maybe 1.7 or something like that. This is a blowback gun, okay? So full dropout metal magazine. And I can tell for sure that the frame is polymer. It's definitely lighter, a lot lighter with the magazine, the all metal magazine out of it. I'm not gonna go into a lot of details because I will be reviewing this gun for sure, since it's brand new, never really been seen. This is definitely unique to the store. To me, for sure. Nice, floating barrel, full blowback operation, right? Let's just quickly look at it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but we'll just take a quick look. It's got a bunch of the oil still on it. Haven't even cleaned it, right? Safety, slide catch release, magazine release, field stripping, takedown levers, rail, right? Got a threaded barrel there for putting, I guess, red tips and things on. Depends what market they're selling it to. You still have an ambidextrous slide catch release and ambidextrous safety, so pretty nice. And an ambidextrous magazine release, right? So you got everything going on there, right? Pretty nice gun. All right, enough of that. I like that right away. First impressions, pretty cool. Looking forward to showing you that one in more detail and shooting it. Okay, we have the M1911. And this is very similar to the Crossman C1911, which they have in, I think, silver. They might have it in black. I can't remember if SHOT Show, they did have it in both versions. But the reason I say that, it is different cosmetically, but it's internally the same. So let's take a look at this. It is a fixed slide pellet pistol, CO2 pellet pistol. You can see that, pellets. Okay, specifications, non-blowback, right? No hop-up, 4.5mm. Those are pellets, manual, safety, metal slide. You've got a 6x2 pellets, so it's got a rotary kind of magazine. I'll show you that in a bit. 12 grams CO2 and 105 meters per second, whatever that translates to in feet per second. Maybe I'll put that on the screen so we all know. Okay, so again, manuals and stuff, no big deal. We all get that. You do have a couple tools here, or one tool it looks like, just the Allen key, and whatever this is. Let me see if I can get this out. Okay, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's for getting pellets. Sometimes you have something like this, cleaning rod maybe for getting pellets unjammed, potentially. But okay, so the slide is fixed. All right, slide's fixed. Get in here a bit. Okay, you do have a safety. This is non-working, obviously because the slide is fixed. You do have a magazine release. You'll notice the trigger is like, it's like a single action trigger, but it's actually a double action gun only. No blowback, so the trigger, and you can see it's actually kind of a weird little hammer there, right? And on the magazine, that's what makes it kind of unique. It is a full-size magazine, and it is all metal. It holds the CO2, right? Is this pellet loading system, okay? The pellets go in there. There's 6 in the top. Flip it around, 6 in the bottom, right? So you pull the magazine out, and you can rotate it, and you've got 12 shots total. And it's a pellet shooter, so it's going to have a rifled barrel, I imagine. Pretty heavy gun. It's all metal. Again, no blowback operation. The trigger isn't too bad, but it's obviously longer than your typical single action 1911, so it's not going to shoot like a 1911. It'll hold like a 1911, but it won't shoot like one. But it is a pellet shooter, you know, so it's going to be a little different than a BB1 with an inline style magazine, right? Okay, let's take a look at the next gun. What do we got here? Okay, can move these over a little bit. Get that out of there. All right, let's take a look at the TT-33, right? What is this guy? Well, let's take a look. It's a non-blowback, 700 grams. We'll figure that out, put that on screen and weight. 194 millimeters, 2.5 joule, metal slide, 19 shot. Okay, on the back, and this is steel BBs, by the way. Okay, so on this back, pretty much the same stuff, non-blowback. Now this is interesting in that it's a double action gun. I know it sounds weird, or sorry, yeah, single action gun. It's a single action only gun. So you're gonna have to cock the hammer manually like a single action army revolver, because there's no working slide, there's no blowback operation. You can see here, it doesn't matter, I can pull the trigger all day long. Nothing's gonna happen until I cock that hammer. So you do get a pretty short trigger, a little heavier, well, much heavier than a single action army trigger would be, but it's not terrible. Okay, so for just like target shooting, it'd probably feel pretty good, but you're not going to do any action shooting with this one because it is single action only, unless you're pretty good with that, pulling back that hammer with your thumb. Okay, so you put your BBs in there, steel BBs in this gun, right? And for some reason it's not going back in. Don't know why. Why is it not going back in? Okay, you got to actually push that in to get it back in. So I'm not going to force it. You got to push that in to get it in. Interesting. Never seen that before. Let's take a look at it. It's all metal though. Okay, it's all metal. Okay. You do have these screws for putting it together, slapping each side. So I'm not a big fan of that when you have those screws putting the two halves together, but it is what it is. It does feel good in the hand. You know, it holds like Tokarev, and it feels like a Tokarev. Sights are your typical post sight, right? Anyways, that's that. Nothing super exciting about that gun, but it's pretty cool. And by the way, this one I believe is about 130 bucks. I didn't really, you know, I'm not going to go into exact amounts. I can't remember how much this guy is. I believe this one's like just over 100, and this guy's about, I believe, about 170-ish. Okay, that's Canadian, so it's going to be cheaper in the US. Usually we sell KWC in Canada and the US, so we should be able to get links up in, if you check out the description, I'll try and put some links for these products. If I do them in Canada and US, I'll put links in the Canada and US store. There's going to be quite a few to link to, so what I might just do is link it to my main webpage over at replicairguns.com, where I'll then put links for each product for Canada and the US accordingly. All right, let's move on here. More guns. Okay, so these guys are pretty much the same. M92s, we have an Airsoft version and we have the steel BB version. They're full auto guns. And I've been reviewing these Berettas, right? So this is the 93, or what is this one? This is the M9A3, and it's kind of like the 92A1 in a lot of ways, right? And I've sort of compared those two side by side. What this is the 92A1, okay? So this is the 92A1 that Umerix sells, but without all the, you know, Beretta licensing and everything. So KWC obviously makes it for Umerix because it's a KWC product, and they are literally identical. So let's just take a look at the steel BB version, and then I'll just go over specs real quick on the metal version or the airsoft version. All right, so you can see blowback, hop up, steel BBs, right? We got 95 meters per second, 17 rounds. Everything's gonna be the same as the Umarex model that I've reviewed. Okay, it's just that this is the KWC version. These sell for, I think, $189 over in Canada. So a little bit different specs for the airsoft version, right? So you got a few, well, actually you got more rounds in that one, I believe. So 17 versus 21. So interestingly enough, the airsoft gun has more rounds. So maybe it's just a little more efficient. 12 grams CO2, plastic BBs, of course. Okay, so they are gonna look identical. So let's just open up one, take a look. Now KWC makes a lot of guns for these big name companies. This is just one of them, right? Like a lot of companies now are rebranding or buying their guns through KWC and putting their own licensing, getting KWC to put their licensing that they hold on the guns, right? Sometimes they'll even modify them a little bit, change them up a little bit. In the case of this one, you know, I wasn't even sure if it was a KWC gun at first. I was thinking it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. I think what happens with like companies like Umarex when they buy from KWC is they say, we want a specific gun. Can you make this for us? You know, a lot of times they're already making very, very similar products. And so Umarex might say, well, we want it to be like this. We might want to put a rail on it. KWC will make it for them, and I think they have an agreement where like Umarex will be the only person selling that version of the gun for a certain period of time, and then KWC can probably come out with their unlicensed version maybe, you know, 6 months down the road, a year down the road. And I think that's what's happened here, because when this one came out, I didn't really see it. We didn't get the product from KWC. Let me get in here. We didn't see it as a KWC product until quite a bit later, like literally a year later. And now we have it as a KWC version, unlicensed. Okay, so that's kind of what's happened. So if you want to know more about this gun like right away, then check out the Umarex 92 or Model 92A1 videos that I have, shooting video, tabletop video, because it literally is the same gun, just unlicensed. But cool, we have now an airsoft as well, which is cool. I don't believe Umarex has an airsoft version. Maybe they do, but they didn't originally. So now we have it from KWC in both steel BB and airsoft, and again, both of them are full auto and semi-auto capable, so that's really cool. All right, so there's going to be some full reviews on these guns. I don't know if I'm going to do a full review on this one, just because it literally is a Model 92A1, same as the Umarex version. Maybe I'll do an airsoft review just to do a field test and see how it shoots, because I haven't shot an airsoft version of that. I'll definitely be reviewing this one because it's a new product that I've never tested or really shown in detail. The 24/7 for sure I'm going to do tabletop and field test, and maybe I'll do one with this model TT-33 because it's just different, you know. It's not exactly up my alley in terms of being a single action only. You know, what's supposed to be normally a semi-auto gun, and this one's single action only. It's kind of a little weird, but why not? You know, some of you might be into that. There's obviously a market for it. If they didn't have a market for it, they probably wouldn't be selling it. All right, that's it. Make sure to check out all the links over at replicaAirguns.com if you're interested in any of these products. I'll be putting links in the written review over there at replicaAirguns.com. So I'll for sure put a link in the description of this video to get you there, and then you can find out more information about these guns there. Just too much to probably put in the description of the YouTube video itself. And if you're interested in other products, air guns, BB guns, airsoft guns, pellet guns, blank guns, and other accessories, all that stuff, then check out replicaAirguns.ca for the Canadian store and replicaAirguns.us for the US store, where we have our online stores. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.